The chimes brought Harley's eyes up to the door. Lear walked in with a look on his face Harley had only seen once before, on the day they both knew they'd find their mother dead at home. Prepare for the worst, she thought. Harley was standing behind the bar drying a glass, following her brother with her eyes. He raised his chin. Guns. Her hand went to the small of her back. She nodded twice. Lear put one finger to his ear. His eyes went to the door upstairs and she understood. She looked at the clock display on the bar. 10 p.m. She clicked a button on her wristcom and 5-minute timer signaled its countdown with a beep. While Lear climbed the stairs, she went back to drying the glass. It'd been dry for a while now. Her eyes scanned the room, lingering on each of the boss's goons just long enough to determine if they were armed. Then on to the next. They were all armed. Fuck. Among all the goons spread throughout the saloon, there were plenty of unsuspecting patrons enjoying a drink, blabbering about something entirely irrelevant. Harley kept her wits about her. 5 of the boss's guys, 1 gun each. The Irishman in the back might have a backup in an ankle holster. Hard to tell from here. A patron sat down at the bar to her left and then turned the glass in front of him right side up. What'll it be? She glanced at him, then kept scanning. Vodka. Harley reached over her shoulder, grabbed 2 bottles, and held them both up for him to select a preference. The Irishman across the bar was running his fingers through his hair. The Italian nearest the front door was looking around. Do they know? Harley turned to him. He was blonde, blue-eyed, fit and handsome. Yeah? I said I'll take the blue label. Oh, right. Harley poured the drink. The Islander, sitting a little too close to the Irishman, was looking right at her. Harley zeroed in on him. That was when she heard it. Upstairs in the boss's office, a scuffle, bumps and crashes, groans and screams. This was it, she knew it, and the Islander knew it. Shame, she thought. We probably went to the same school. Harley vaulted over the bar and pulled twin guns from the back of her pants. She uttered the command, incapacitate. Her guns lit up orange and whirred, then beeped and switched to green. She fired off 5 shots before her feet hit the ground on the other side of the bar. 5 bodies rose from their tables, drew guns, and then fell to the floor, knocking over their tables. The 5 made no other sounds but for the scuffle of their boots on the floor as they convulsed and jolted about. Then, as if on cue, they all vomited. The unsuspecting patrons were now the up against the walls in fear patrons. Click. She felt the barrel against the back of her skull. That was impressive. You should be on this side of the gun. I will be. Her elbow came up behind her to whip the gun up. As she ducked to avoid the gunshot, she spun and swept him off his feet. She holstered 1 gun, stood up and caught the handsome blonde by the front of his shirt before he hit the ground. With her other hand, she aimed the gun at his face and uttered, kill. The gun whirred in her hands and turned from orange to green. His face begged her not to do it. Harley pulled the trigger. She let his limp body flop to the floor. The sound of her boots as she walked away would be burned into the minds of those bystanders for all time. Lear burst through the doors from the boss's office and made his way down to the saloon. He looked at the 6 bodies on the floor. I didn't kill them. They puked everywhere. Harley, that one in the back there looks dead. He didn't puke. He's fine. 10 more of the boss's goons came from the front and back of the saloon. Lear and Harley stood back to back, their 4 guns pointed straight as lasers on their targets. Lear kept 1 gun on the boss at all times. Bitches out, Harley said. Every bystander ran out the door. Thanks a lot, she said. This used to be a good gig. You're gonna give me shit right now? For pulling a Harley? Fuck you. But yeah, I get that, she said. The boss appeared from his office with white powder under his nose. The speedum made him nearly unintelligible, but gave him courage. The gist was, Lear and Harley Varian were both good as dead. Are you sure? She shouted over her shoulder at the boss. Your man over there, she pointed with her gun, said you might want to promote me from bartender to lieutenant, or some kind of enforcer. That offer was rescinded. Handsome blonde stood up slowly, clearly groggy. Lear jumped a little at that. What is... The blonde gunman plucked the sleep disc from his neck with 2 fingers and looked at it closely. Told you I didn't kill him, Harley said. These fast-acting sleep discs aren't as long-lasting. I'm still playing with the formula. I'll figure it out. How do we get out? They were outnumbered, outgunned, and none of these goons had any reservations about killing them. Harley's alarm rang. 10:05 p.m.